everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Melody, a romance and YA author, and this is my What Am I Reading in 2022 video. Last year I did a similar video to this. I made a video where I talked about some of the books that I wanted to read in 2021, and I read most of them. There were some that I didn't quite get to, but I thought it would be fun to do another video like this. I know this channel is about writing, but we are writing books, and if you are a writer, I definitely think you should be a reader as well. It would kind of be like if you wrote screenplays, but you didn't like watching movies, you know. So of course we write books and we love to read them as well. Okay, so let's get into what I want to read in 2022. So the first thing I want to read, I've talked about this book 2 times already, and I actually am currently reading it. I am finally starting to read this book. Right Naked. I don't like the title. I'm sorry, Jennifer, I don't like the title. But it's called Right Naked, a Bestseller's Secrets to Writing Romance. And the whole Right Naked thing is not really actually about writing naked. This is a book by Jennifer Probst, and she says writing naked is a necessary state of mind for translating the mess of raw material in your brain into words on a page. That's really what the whole Right Naked thing means. But I want to finish reading this book. I have started reading I've started reading, so I'm like that much through. But I'm going to finish this book, so this is going to be like my first writing craft book of the year that I'm going to read. And I do love Jennifer Probst. I've read a few of her romance books, and she is a really awesome writer. So I'm eager to read this and learn from what she has to say. Now, speaking of writing craft books, I have 2 more writing craft books that I got from the library. And I've actually read this book before. It's called On Writing Romance, How to Craft a Novel That Sells by Lee Michaels. And this was a good book. I thought this was a very helpful book. And like I say, I've already read it before, but I'm going to kind of read it again. I'm going to just kind of skim through it, because now that I am closer to publishing romance, I just feel like it's a good idea to check this book out, you know, just see if there's any more tips that I can get from this book. And then this book right here, You Can Write a Romance, by Rita Clay Estrada and Rita Gallagher. Now, I have checked out this book before from the library, and I kind of just like skimmed through it. I didn't really read it, but I think I'm going to take another look. Now, this book was published in 1999, so I don't know if it's a little outdated, or I don't know if romance can be outdated. Like, I don't know. I feel like, yes, I think trends in romance definitely have changed in the last couple decades. So I don't know if this book is going to help me that much, but I'm going to look through it anyway and give you my opinion on it. So I think what I'm going to do is, after I finish the Right Naked book, and then I'm going to reread On Writing Romance, and I'm going to check out this book. I think I'm going to do like a video on my opinion on these romance writing craft books. So I think that'll be a good video. So that is my first set of books that I want to read for 2022. Now, I mentioned the library. If you didn't know, I work at the library, so I have access to all these kinds of books. And one of the fun things about working at a library is that we get a lot of advanced reader copies for books. So about every month, we get like a delivery of books that are on the break room table, and we can just take them and we can read them and we can review them. Like, it's so fun to get like free books, and I love when I see like ARCs on the table, and then I can just, I just love it. And that's why I've got like so many books on my shelf that I haven't read yet, because every time I see one of these ARCs that looks a little bit interesting, I grab it. And I do want to eventually get to all of them, but there's just so much to read, and there's only so many hours in the day, so I don't always get to them. Last year in my video, I wanted to get to these books, and I didn't get to them. I wanted to read Normal People by Sally Rooney. I wanted to read Paris 7 a.m. by Liza Weiland, I'm not sure how she says her name. And then I had this book, The Words Between Us by Erin Bartels. And I still want to read these books. I do still want to read them. I just didn't get to them yet. And with like this book, I can tell it's like a World War II type story. And I get in these phases where I want to read like World War II type stories and like historical fiction and things like that. And I just haven't been in the mood to read that just yet. Like, I just don't want to read a World War II story just yet. But I do want to check this out. So that is still on the list. So the books that I didn't get to are still on my list. And then I picked some more ARCs from the library. Now, I don't know if this is a romance or if it's a women's fiction. Like, I just can't really tell because these illustrated covers that are coming out now, I just can't tell what kind of book it is. I mean, the illustrated covers are cute. I like them, but I just don't really know like what kind of book this is. Like, is this a romance? Is this a women's fiction? Is this... Now, I used to call, like, books like this, they look like chiclets. Like, remember chiclets, like, that were really popular, like, back in, like, the early 2000s? Or at least that's what we called them. I don't know, that's what I called them, chiclets. I don't know, but anyway, this book looks kind of cute. I grabbed it off the table. It's called The Rehearsals by Annette Christie. And this book actually came out last July 13th, 2021. So yeah, I haven't read this one yet, but it kind of looks cute. A funny, romantic, and big-hearted debut novel. It's something like they're stuck in a time loop or something and they're reliving like the worst day of their lives like over and over. Like, I guess they're about to get married or something. I don't know. It just looked kind of cute. I hope it ends happily. I always like a book that has a happy ending. And then this book, again, I don't know if this is like a women's fiction or if it's a romance. I can't really tell, but I think it takes place in Italy, which I'm just like so obsessed with Italy. Like, I love Italy so much. I want to go one day so bad. Like, maybe when I retire or something, I'm going to save up some money and go on a trip to Italy. Like, I don't know, but this book takes place in Italy, the Rome novels. So I don't know. It looked like it might be a cute book. So this one is One Step to You by Federico Moschia. I'm totally butchering this author's name. I'm so sorry, but that's what it is. And this book came out in March of 2021. I still have not gotten to it. I do want to. Anyway, that's on the list. Now, when I say I don't have time for books, I mean, I really just don't have a lot of time to read like actual physical books, but that doesn't mean that I don't read a lot of books still. I'm really big into audiobooks right now. I love audiobooks, and lately what I have been doing is I've been listening to books when I'm driving, or I listen to books when I'm exercising, and it's a great way to squeeze in an extra book when you don't actually have time to sit down and read a physical book. So that's actually how I get the majority of my reading done. I do the audiobooks. So currently at the moment, I don't have any audiobooks checked out right now. I am on hold for the next Stephanie Plum book. I think the name of the book is Game On. I think that was the name of it. I can't remember the name of the book, but then whatever the next Stephanie Plum book is, the newest one, I am on hold for. I should be getting that soon. And I think it's like book 27 or 28. I totally can't remember. This series is so long. But last year in my video that I did, I was reading the Stephanie Plum series, and I wanted to read that series for this year, and I have read most of the series, but it's such a long series that I'm still not done with it. So the only books now left that I have to read in the Stephanie Plum series is the one I'm waiting for, whatever the newest one is. I'm on hold for that. And then there's also these Between the Numbers books, and I can never remember what order they're supposed to go in. So I didn't read them, and looking at the reviews of the books, they said that you don't really miss anything if you skip those books, basically. But I do want to go back and read them. I did listen to one of the first one, The Visions of Sugar Plums. And I gotta say that, I mean, I liked it okay, but it really just, it didn't really have the same feel as the rest of the books in the series. I really highly recommend, if you're going to read the Stephanie Plum series, listen to the audiobook version by Lorelei King, because it is like a performance. She is such a great narrator, and I like listening to the books. Like I say, it's like a performance, because there's a lot of repetition in there, and I think if I had to reread the same thing about, I'm Stephanie Plum, I'm a bounty hunter, and this is what I do for a living, and this is, you know, my cop boyfriend, Joe Morelli, and this is Ranger, and he always says the word babe, you know, like, there is so much repetition in these books. So it's easier to listen to the audiobook, because then you don't like get annoyed by the repetition, by, you know, because if you're reading a book and you kind of come across some of that, you want to skip it. But anyway, yes, check out the audiobooks if you want to read that series. So I am almost done with that series. I just need to read a few more of the Between the Numbers books and the one that's new. Now, the other audiobook series that I want to check out is, and I've already read the first two, I've listened to the first two books in the series, but I want to read the entire Little House on the Prairie series. So I love Little House on the Prairie, but I have never actually read any of the Little House books, except like for one, and I don't even remember which one that was, and it was so long ago. I mean, it was like, I was in my 20s, I think, when I read that book. It was so long ago that I don't even really remember what happened. So I'm listening to the entire series on audiobook, and so far it's really cute. I love it. And the reason why I wanted to listen to the Little House books is because in my story that I am currently writing, my character, that's one of her favorite authors, Laura Ingalls Wilder, is one of her favorite authors, and she has all the books. And I'm like, you know what? I should read these books. I should find out, like, what my character likes to read. So that's why I'm reading these books. And it's great to read children's books on audiobook, because they're short and you can finish them pretty easily, like in a week. So I've read the first two in the series, and they were good. So I'm going to continue that series. So finish the Stephanie Plum series on audiobook, and then also finish the Little House on the Prairie series on audiobook as well. Now, for the other thing that I want to read, romance books. I still want to read more romance books, and especially this year, because I am going to be publishing a romance book, and so I want to just completely immerse myself into all these different kinds of romance books. And currently I am reading this book, Cat Martin Into the Fury, and this was one of the books that I wanted to read last year, and at the end of the year I'm finally reading it. About halfway through right here, and it's pretty good so far. I mean, I like the danger element in here, and I do like the characters. I think it might be a little bit insta-lovey, but so far, I mean, it's still pretty good. I like the characters, at least, and I like the story, and so I think I'm going to enjoy this one. So this is still the one I'm reading. Now, this one was on my list for last year, and I still did not read it. I actually attempted to read it, but then I was like, I don't really want to read this right now. I think I'd rather read this one. And I wanted to read this one around Christmas because it looks like a Christmassy book, right? But I just still didn't get to it. And so I just don't really know if I'm going to get to this one yet. Like, I just really was not in the mood to read this one yet. Maybe I'll pick it up at another time. We'll see. If I get to the point where I just do not read this book, like some of these books, like after I read them, I'm going to donate them to either the library or the little free library in my neighborhood. But yeah, we'll see. And speaking of the little free library, I did grab this one out of the library. And this is Linda Leo Miller, which I have heard of her. I've seen her name on many, many books, and I've never read her books before. So I don't know, like this one looks like it could be kind of good. Like this is kind of like a historical fiction, so like I said, I don't really read a lot of historical romance. I mean, I read historical fiction, but I don't read a lot of historical romance, so I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. But yeah, I picked this out of the library like a few months ago. And haven't got to it yet because like I say, I just don't have a lot of time to read, but I do a lot of audiobooks. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm looking at this video. Wow, this video is getting so long, but I have a lot of books on my list. I'm sorry, I just do. But I think that's pretty much it for my what am I reading for 2022. And I've got a lot to read. So I am going to end this video. And I am going to pick up where I left off in Right Naked. And I can't wait to finish this book. Like, maybe I can finish this book, like, at the end of the week. Like, I don't know. We'll see. So, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know in the comments what books you would like to read. And if you have any recommendations for books that you think I might enjoy, let me know in the comments below. I would love to check them out. I'm always looking to add more books to my to-read list. I've got like maybe, I don't know how many, 400, 500 books on my to-read list. I don't know. But I'm really actually especially looking for romance books because I do want to read more of that. I want to discover more authors. Like especially if they're like romance books like with like cowboys or ranchers, or like FBI guys, or like detectives, or like ex-military, like I don't know, like that's like the kind of books like I like to read, but I'm not limited to just those. I'd like to read a lot more, so yeah, just let me know in the comments if you have any more book recs for me. I didn't show y'all my t-shirt. I got this t-shirt. It says, "My book is calling, and I must go." So I must go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!